Hello, everybody. Hello, Justin Chamness here, and I'm here with actually the very first episode of 2024, the lease option live stream. But we're going to scrap that tonight and we're going to call it the land offer letter live stream because I have a very, very special friend and guest here. Is it okay if I call you my friend? I know we've only known each other just a little while.
Heck yeah, man.
All right,
Absolutely. I
cool.
feel like I've known you a while.
I know. That's how I feel too. This guy is great. I'm really pleased, honored to have him here back on the lease option live stream to talk about land flipping or the flipping land business. All right.
The flipping land business.
Yeah, and that's pretty popular topic nowadays. And I thought it would be nice if I just kicked off the year with Brent Bowers, Land Shark, right here live streaming with me in an open Q&A type thing. If you guys want to put something in the chat or the comments where you're watching, I will do my best to monitor that. Okay, but let's jump into some talk about what it means to be a real estate investor and also an American. Really, can we just say that? What does it mean to be an American or an American real estate investor with dreams and goals and aspirations, with a vision? You know, a lot of us out here have a vision for where we want to go in 2024. And I know of really no one better to talk a little bit about this topic to kick us off than my good friend here. See, now he's a good friend. I said, "Can I call you friend?" He said, "Yeah." Now he's a good friend. So my good friend Brent Bauer is here. What does it mean to you? And I know a little bit about your story because you've shared with me before, and all of us really. But what does it mean to you to be an American investor, no matter what you're flipping here
Yeah.
in 2024? What does it mean to you, man?
Well, first off, just the fact that I was born in America, God has absolutely blessed me. And I know He's got a plan for every single person, whether He's put you in Uganda to be born or East Asia, it doesn't matter. But I was born in America and God bless America. And, I'm done complaining about the taxes I pay and that's money well spent. And I love creating jobs and creating industry and capitalism. And it's like, thank God we were born in America. And if for anybody that's came to America, God bless you, welcome. And like, as far as an American investor, it's just I still pinch myself that I am so blessed. I mean, let me just tell you what my day looked like today. I had a date. I had a date, kind of a small date day with my wife. We had lunch together. I made some money. I sold a piece of land. I went on a 3.5 mile run right before this podcast because after the kids went down, because this is usually my bedtime. So I was like, heck, I'm not going to drink caffeine. I'm just going to go on a run. I got to go to the gym for an hour this morning from 9 to 10 a.m. when I used to be working and slaving for the military for 14-hour days. So now I still work hard. But I make passive income. I get paid every single day from either a land. Well, I actually get paid every single day from land payments. I have 68 notes that
Wow.
pay me every single month, and nothing ever breaks. Nothing ever breaks on this land. And what do I do with that land income? I invest it into commercial buildings, office building, houses, lease options. I love that sandwich lease option zone. I'm hungry again just looking at that sandwich. But
You don't
that's what
want
it
to eat that
means
one.
to be an American investor. We are, a lot of people have this. I mean, you either think of, I mean, you either think positive or negative when you hear investor. But when I think of investor, I think of all the jobs I've created, and the title insurance, and the people I employ, and the contractors, and the dirt movers, and the guy that just cleared the roads to my land, and just all these things, and the people I buy the land from, the people I sell the land to, and it's just nuts. And the reason why I talk about being blessed to be in America is we support like 18 kids in Uganda. It keeps growing and growing and growing. I just got a bill, and I shouldn't say it a bill. It's what it's going to cost to send these kids to school here coming up soon.
Wow.
And the bill keeps going up, and it's just the kids keep growing, and they're all just so happy. And like they got like bouncy balls for Christmas, and they're eating rice with their hands out of bowls, and they're just happy. So, it doesn't take much to be happy. It's not about money. It's just about what we do and uh, helping other people.
Man, wow. We could just end right there, even because that what you just said was incredibly above and beyond what I had anticipated. And I knew the answer was going to be incredibly good. But I
Well,
mean,
thank you. I'm humbled. I'm flattered.
well, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for being here. It's an honor, and you can see why I'm so excited, everybody, to have Brent Bowers Land Shark here with us because this is a whole other level of operation. Okay, we can talk about land flipping, and a lot of people do, but Brent Bowers has perfected the process a lot, and in a way that's mature. Uh, Not only that, but he brings a lot of integrity and character and authenticity into the business, and that's pretty big right now too. I think that's important for all of us, so we understand that. So let's talk about land flipping a little bit here, Brent. Who is the end buyer ultimately? Who are we talking about? Is it a builder? Is it a camping guy with an RV? Is it all of the above? Or who ultimately wants this land? Because what you're doing as a flipper, and correct me if I'm wrong, is you're getting in the middle, and somebody's going to end up with this. Who is that?
Yeah. No, and you kind of hit it on the head. It is all the above. When I first started, it's crazy. My first land buyer was a real estate agent. My second land buyer was a car mechanic. He bought the land to
Wow.
hunt
Okay.
on. My third land buyer was a semi truck driver. And the fourth was a truck driver, and the fifth was a truck driver, and the sixth was a Texan that just sold his ranch in Texas and wanted to buy 44 acres in Colorado. And then it turned into builders and developers. And then it's amazing how it's evolved. Now that I'm doing more expensive land, it's usually a builder or a developer or an end buyer, someone that just wants to build that dream
Yeah.
home one day, maybe.
Wow.
I've done a lot of lands, what we call infill buildable lots that have power and electric close by. And I've done land in the middle of nowhere. And, I just got a call from Forbes Park, Colorado, own 13 parcels of land out there. And they'll say, hey, you got a bill for 13 parcels of land that you owe on the Park Owners Association for $358 each. And I was like, oh, how much
Oh
is
my
that?
God.
Can I put it on a credit card? And they're all sold. Most of them, actually, we might have taken a few back. Sometimes people don't pay for these. They stop paying after a couple years and we take the land back. But most of them are sold, and most of those buyers are paying, $30, $40 a month towards that park ownership fee. So I put it on a credit card, get Sky Miles, and reimburse that credit card. But that's kind of the buyer. That was a very long answer to your quick
Oh, that's a
question.
great question because, I think a lot of us get pigeonholed in our thinking that this is just neighborhood lots, people building, and because the economy and the interest rate, they might not be building new homes, but really that's short-minded because there's so many other people that are purchasing land, including builders,
Yeah.
and you kind of let us know that by your answer. So it's a great answer.
And markets are very micro. You turn on Fox News and CNN, you're going to see all the negativity. I don't watch the
Sure.
news. I'll put it out there. You might think I'm stupid. Not you.
No,
Anybody listening
that's
to this might
great.
might think
Yeah,
that's
that's good
stupid.
advice right there. Really.
Oh, I'm so uninformed. You know what? I got a cell phone. I'm so informed. I'm more informed than
Wow.
that person that reads the newspaper every
Right.
day. Like I'm informed on what I want to be informed on.
Right.
But real estate's micro. I've got one area I'm struggling in a little bit. I've got a $1.2 million parcel of land that I paid for it. Should have sold for 3 million, 2 years ago. Now it's like
Wow.
we can't get 1.5 for it.
Wow.
So, but other areas, the second I get a piece of land and I list it, it's gone. So I think
Yeah.
markets move, things change, and you're
Sure.
right. We can never pigeonhole. This too shall pass.
Right.
Everything will. There's a buyer for every piece of land, every single
Right.
piece of land.
Wow. Yeah. It's a good way of thinking about it too. Really about probably you could say that about just about every piece of real estate. I mean, maybe not every piece of real estate, but a lot of them, and definitely about raw land. It seems like that's great. So the demand for raw land is not like going down.
No, and here's the thing, I'm buying it at such massive discounts and you know, I'm buying anywhere 50, 60, 70 cents on the dollar, depending on how much the land is worth. I'm kind of way below. I'm really kind of staying under 60 cents on the dollar right now. But when's the last time you've ever seen a market just, hey, Jerry, a market even if it crashes like 2008, 2009, things didn't get cut in half. Like a $100,000 house didn't go down to $50,000. So it's kind of a recession-proof business if you buy
Yeah,
absolutely right. The worst thing that can happen is I get my money back or I
yeah.
sit on it for a while. And I love using private lending. I like using other people's money because I'm a big believer in profit first. I had to learn this the hard way, by the way.
Wow.
We won't get into that unless you
Yeah.
want to know about it. I failed huge. I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in 2022 on houses on big land.
Yeah.
But now I've implemented profit first. I get these cash accounts, my profit account, my owner's pay account, my expense, my tax account, and I do that for each company that I can weather the storm for many years
Mhm.
now.
Yeah.
And if
Wow.
if we have a little blip or whatever, worst case scenario, I sell it for what I got into it, or I just keep paying that lender and sell it to someone, for what I've got into it and collect interest for the next 10 years.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. See what I'm saying, everybody? It's a whole other level. Jerry Smith, good to see you here, man. Thanks for popping in. I'm thinking you popped in because you might have a question for the land shark here. You got a question or something you'd like to add, Jerry? Thanks for being here. You got to hit that unmute button, Jerry, on Zoom.
No, I don't have a question.
All
I
right. Well,
just
good.
been I've been following you and you've been dropping some really good nuggets.
Okay.
Yeah, good to see you, Jerry. I like that chair too.
Thank you.
That's a pretty cool looking chair.
Thank you.
It is a cool looking chair. Well, let me ask you this: since we were talking about land, what I want to talk about the marketing process a little because we've talked about end buyers now and kind of how land. I heard a guy say it like this one time, and maybe it was even you. Land's like the only thing they're not making any more of, and so the demand is never going to go to nothing. It's like you said, there's always a buyer for every piece of land out there somewhere. So let me ask you, finding the land. Obviously, this is pretty simple because it seems to me. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's public record, right? And so every landowner is public record out there available for any of us to just go get. Is that really what happens? You're getting that and then you're texting? Is that what happens? Or calling, cold calling, texting, mailing?
I don't text or cold call. I've been
Okay.
sued for texting and cold calling. I actually got sued by a realtor that's a professional litigator for 3 text messages and one cold call. Man, I want to say his name so bad on here, just to throw him out there, but I don't want him
Yeah.
suing me again. He was better than I was. I even had an attorney fight him. But anyhow, it cost about 22,000, and someone just getting started. I don't recommend them having to pay for that price of business.
Sure.
Luckily we were able to cover that, but it still hurt. It hurt my ego, honestly. It aggravated
Well,
me.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't text or cold call.
So you're I'm sorry because a lot of I do some texting, but I'm texting Zillow for sale by owners, which is public stuff too. That's already they're asking people to text, right? So
That's different. Yeah, that's
yes,
different.
yes.
I got a realtor on one of my buyers list when I was wholesaling a bunch of properties and text him multiple properties and he was keeping a record of it. And finally he showed up to one of my inspection
Wow.
periods and not him, but he had someone serve me. And during the lawsuit, I had a cold caller too working, and somehow or another, this son of a gun got on that list too. And we called him and left him a voicemail. So even though it was a voicemail, I still had to pay the fine for that one. And this is
Yeah.
right before the fine went up. I got off easy. It was only 1,500 a piece, but I had to pay his lawyer fees plus my lawyer fees. It worked out to about 22 grand. It's like a year and a
Oh,
half process. But I love direct mail. And here's the thing, the
okay.
government
Okay.
is not going to, like, the United States Postal Service is not going to let that go out of business. Like they want to
Right.
keep that going. So they're
Right.
never going to come after guys like us for sending letters because we keep
Right.
those wheels moving. You know,
So
we
how do you keep it affordable, Brent? How do you keep the direct mail with that? I mean, because I've seen direct mail pieces that cost $3, $4 a pop.
Oh no, heck no.
You
No,
know what
I'm
I
paying about
mean?
80 cents a record. Well,
Yeah.
I print on both sides of the paper.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I
And
do
it
first class mail.
and this is
Um,
not full color postcard stuff or
No, none of
no.
that stuff. It's super simple, and
Okay.
we've talked about my land offer letter, my LOL before, but the public record, yes, you're correct. It is all public record. What I do is I have a very sophisticated method. It is so sophisticated. I'm just joking. I really just look. I look for where demand is happening. I want
Yeah.
demand. I want land that's selling. Why? Because it tells me what the price of the land's selling for.
Yeah.
It tells me too that if I get a good deal, someone's going to buy it. And
Wow.
that's really it. Those are two things, like supply and
Yeah.
demand.
Yeah. Okay.
And before I actually pull the trigger, most of the time I'm lining up my buyer. I'm lining up a buyer ahead of time. So I've got
All
to,
right.
and here's the thing, landowners are they're not in like as mad and serious of a rush as most of the time house owners or dilapidated properties or problem tenants. Most of the time they'll give me 6 or 7 weeks if I need it to market for my buyer ahead of time. And number two, I want to basically fill a demand. I don't want to go out there and have to create a demand. I've bought a lot of land in the middle of nowhere that I had no clue what the land was worth, and I created the
Right.
prices. And that took a
Yeah.
while to build
Huh.
that. I'm doing well in some of those areas, but I'm trying to get rid of all that stuff.
That's that sounds like fun, if I'm a new guy and I'm just getting into real estate investing, period, okay, or wholesaling or flipping, whatever word or, you know, what is it okay if I just focus on land, or do I need to be land and single family residences and ugly houses or something, or is it? Is it okay if I just learn? Like, can I cut my teeth there? Can I make a substantial business out of that alone, just getting going?
Yeah, that I'm so glad. That's such a really good question. And I say focus on one thing. The dog that goes after two rabbits has none.
Right.
There's a lot of shiny objects out there,
Yes.
or we call them unicorns. People like, you looks like you focus mostly, Justin, on lease options. I
Yes.
guarantee you, you're probably looking for a unicorn. There's probably a better way, an easier way. Another thing that comes across your desk, a YouTube ad or a Facebook ad
Yeah.
says, be an internet millionaire.
Yeah.
And you click on it and you're like, oh
Yeah.
man, and go down a rabbit hole for 2 weeks. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh shoot, I forgot about that lease option business that's making me money. So I say pick one channel,
Right.
one strategy and dominate it, delegate it. I'm sorry, dominate it, automate it. What you can't automate, you delegate it, and then maybe go to the next thing, the shiny object. And how do you keep track of all of them? You have a little book that you write shiny object or someday maybe. You
Yeah.
write it in the book and you take it
Yeah.
over to your bookshelf and you put it on the shelf and you go back
Yeah.
to what's making you money. Because
Yeah.
I look at all this construction. I love beautiful houses. Love them. I used to flip
Yeah.
houses. I used to wholesale houses. Cost me a fortune. I almost lost honestly, I lost a ton of money in houses.
Yeah.
I will say that. You want to learn what not to do about houses? Like book a call with me. Um, so
I feel the same way, man, about flipping houses. Yeah.
yeah, man.
Like
And I
like
look at,
fixing flipping, is what I mean.
and it's so cool. It's
Yeah.
so sexy. It's awesome to show the before and after. My wife's proud of me and my kids love going to the property. But I see these
Yeah.
new houses being built all the time. I love black and white. I see the black roofs and the white sides. I was like, man, I could build houses on all my parcels of land. And I
Wow.
start
Yeah.
going in this la la land, and I'm like, oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
But then I remember what makes me money. And I go back to focusing on that because, like we try and do too many things. You try and do lease
Yes.
options and a couple rental properties here, then flip a house over here. Then I'm going to
Hmm.
do land. You got to pick one avenue and dominate it, automate it,
Uh,
delegate it.
Boy, I agree with that. Yeah, definitely. And that's a great tip, everybody. I really, really wish that if I could pick one thing that you heard, if you only heard one thing tonight in this entire event, is what he just said there. Create a list, put it on I've got a list on my Trello board of shiny objects. I'm not going to buy those until they've sat there for plenty long, you know, because that is my shiny object tank. That's what I call it.
And I want to answer your question. Can someone just make money in land? The answer is a screaming heck yes. Like, I got a friend that's getting out of the military this month. He's a captain in the military, in the army. He's doing $137,000 net profit this month. He did
Wow.
about $1 million net profit in 2023. And he's got his army job and he's doing land only.
Wow.
I got
Wow.
another guy that did a $700,000 net profit deal January of 2023. Net profit. I'm not talking vanity gross numbers. Now he's in the crypto.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's just like, he's
Yeah.
doing land too, but and it's crazy. The more successful you get, the more money you make, the more opportunities that are gonna,
Right.
you got to say no. Like you got to start saying no.
Yeah. So he's funding another dream with that dream.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Incredible. That's exact. I think that sums up what all of us want to do. If we could put it in a phrase, that's what freedom is for, yeah, I can
And
do what
then
I want to do and afford to do what I want to do next.
and then fund other people's dreams.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's like you fund your dreams and your business
Yeah.
funds your other dreams, and then you start funding other people's dreams. That's why I love getting on this podcast at 9 o'clock at night when I'm usually sleeping,
Wow.
is because like we don't like you, Justin, like pat yourself on the back. You have no clue the families that you've touched and the generations that
Thank
you're
you.
going to change. Like, I've got The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump over here. I was reading those
Yeah.
books in middle school. Like
Yeah.
Donald Trump changed my life.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. That is exactly right. Well, real quick, tell us how do we reach you? We've covered quite a few hot topics tonight, and I don't want to keep you like it is past your bedtime.
No, I'm just giving a hard time. I'm
Yeah,
up. Let's
I
go.
no,
I'm ready.
no, I appreciate that, man. So how do we reach you? And if we want to talk about coaching, what is the offer there that's on the table? Or is there one? I know you're a busy guy, and you've
Yeah,
got
yeah. So the easiest way to reach out to me is go to thelandsharks.com. I'm on
the
all this.
land sharks.
Yep, THELAND, and then sharks is plural. There's more than one of us, sharks.com. And yeah, I do coach. I do teach people. And it's expensive, I learned that from our good friend Claude Diamond. My
Well,
coaching's
sure.
expensive, but let me tell
Yeah.
you what, you want results?
Right.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
Go to
Yeah.
landsharks.com, schedule the call, fill out the form, but you got to mention Justin's name
Oh,
because
okay.
there is a
Wow.
special offer just for your audience, because I've worked with a couple of your I won't mention their names. I worked
Oh,
with a couple of your how to what your tribe members,
yeah.
and they're rock stars. I
Yeah.
mean, they don't play around. So, and I
Yeah.
love that. I love people that are decisive and they take action.
I
Don't,
like that.
I'm gonna sound like a jerk right now, but do not go on there and fill out a form unless you're ready to take action
Right.
and put the pedal to the metal.
Right.
Jerry, were you
Yeah.
raising your hand or just
Yes,
okay?
yes. When you're buying land or looking for land, are you just looking for raw land, like acres of land, or buying lots?
Yes, sir. Both. The answer is both. but I really like to focus where I see land selling, because there's acres of land all over the place, and it might just be sitting there for just and nothing's moving. I want to see land selling right now in the last 6 months, because what did we just go through? We went through the holidays. Things go a little slower, but I want to see stuff moving in the last 6 months at least.
Okay.
People reach out all the time. Brent, I can't figure out what this land's worth. And I look at it, I'm like, because nothing's selling in the air. I don't know what it's worth. Call a real estate agent. Maybe they know. I like to
Right.
think make things easy on myself.
Okay.
So much opportunity out there. I mean, it's so many different. When you think about it, there's so many different types of land. Like things that people do with the land. In other words, and like in other words, it could be out in the woods. It could be hunting. It's like it's treed. It could be
Yeah.
cleared. There could be spaces where people could park an RV, and maybe that's
Oh
what they
yeah.
want to do, or
That's huge.
maybe it's near a lake or near some kind of body of water, or maybe near a park or near a state park, or uh, it's just lots of things. I mean, and on and on and on and on and on. I bet you've probably seen them all, though, haven't you, Brent?
Yeah, and you mentioned the lake or the mountains. We call those attributes. You mentioned the RV or the mobile home. That's huge demand. People are looking for
Yeah,
affordable housing or
right.
unrestricted land. I
Freedom,
think
yeah,
you mentioned
liberty,
something.
yeah,
Yeah, you mentioned hunting. Holy cow.
yeah.
My dad gets $6,000 a year for a 10-acre parcel that he has that people
Wow,
can hunt on. Now it's surrounded by state land, but 6,000 a year, and he hasn't even
yeah,
sold the land. He's going to own it forever. And then I
wow,
wanted to mention the special offer, that like if you're with Justin's group, I want to, and you decide to come into the Land Sharks, like I'm going to give you an additional like one-on-one, like, and I mean an hour of just like deep diving your business.
wow.
We will get you to, you know, rock star status. Because
Yeah.
I find that like people, you can tell them what exactly to do, to give them the instruction, but sometimes they need that extra push or that
Oh
extra
yeah,
accountability, or hey, is this right, or is this the right market? Like, and that's what gets people over the hump, because so many people go to these seminars and spend all this money, but Monday comes and they get that rejection and they're like, "Ugh, that doesn't work."
right, right.
Let me just tell you, the rejection is going to happen. You got to get used to that. You get enough no's, you will get a yes. It does hurt. It never stops hurting. But
Right.
the way I love it, I send those land offer letters. I don't actually get to hear the rejection. Now, sometimes they write back little ugly notes and draw pictures of things I won't talk about on this podcast
I
and send them
see.
back to me. But
Yeah.
that those are sometimes funny. But I don't take it personally because they don't know me. I'm actually a
Yeah.
nice guy most of the time.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's incredible. And what a generous offer. Very grateful that you would extend that offer to the audience here. Don't forget to make that happen if you do decide that you want to talk about becoming a land shark too, then all you got to do is schedule with them over at thelandsharks.com and then mention me because that special offer there. But mention me when you actually meet with Brent because you're not going to meet with some VA or some low level coach person. It's Brent, right?
Yeah, and I do have Peter and Derek helping me, but I do reach out to everyone that puts one of these
Okay.
applications in. They
Okay.
might beat me to it sometimes. Sometimes I beat them to it, and which is crazy. Like I beat
Yeah.
the sales guy sometimes.
This stuff is
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but Brent's pretty hands on with a lot of this stuff. He's actively involved in the coaching business too. Not this is not just something where he's selling a program for someone else to all right. Anyway, um, check it out over there if you're interested. The Land Sharks, and I don't know. Let me just leave the floor open here for Brent to have the last word, everybody, before we send you off into the rest of your week here. This is the first week of 2024. I hope you've got some great plans. What's some things we might share as we leave, Brent? Anything you got on your mind?
Yeah, I'm just saying be consistent and well, a couple things. Like we always like as business owners, we think that we go to a seminar, we want it to work and start making money immediately. just think of like what it takes to get a business off the ground. Like if you were open to, let's just say, open up a pizza shop, you got to sign a lease, or you got to buy a building, you got to buy the ovens, you got to buy the materials, and you got to pay the person
Oh,
that to like open the kitchen and cook the pizzas, deliver the pizzas. Like most of the time, these businesses are not profitable for years.
right.
Or look at that doctor or that attorney, how long they've got to go to school and just, oh man, all the caffeine. I mean, just me getting through my several years of my psychology degree, like unbelievable how hard that was. And I just paid off my student loans about a year ago. Can you believe that? Like
Wow. Good
unbelievable.
for
And I just
you.
got a
Yeah.
psychology degree. Nothing against anybody that's got a psychology degree, by the way. And why did I pick a psychology degree? Because I suck at math. So I chose industrial organizational psychology. And the Army sent me to school and
uh,
they gave me like 21 months to do a 4-year degree. So I had my work cut out for me and I picked the
wow.
easiest degree I could get.
Yeah.
For
Wow.
me, anyways. For some people, it might not be easy. But anyhow, just remember that it's sometimes it takes a
Yeah.
long time. I started in real estate in 2000. I got my license in '07. I took I started going to real estate school in 2004, and I wouldn't say I was successful in real estate until about 2013. So do the math. That's 9 years,
Yeah.
right? Is
Yeah.
that the right math? It's late for
Yeah.
me. So
No,
that's
I think
nine
that's,
years,
yeah.
9 years. And I really didn't start making money till like 2015, 16 with lands. So
I
just
see.
put in the reps
Yeah.
consistently. Don't quit that day job,
Yeah.
and the best time to start is when you're living at mom and dad's house. And I don't
Yeah.
care if you're in the basement or whatever. And you got to take consistent action, and that's income producing activities. Heck with your business card, heck with your logo. Don't worry about a website.
Right.
You want to focus on talking to owners of real estate that you want to buy, whether it
Hmm.
be lease option or flipping or wholesaling or buying and selling land, and talking
Yes.
to the buyers of of that real estate as well. And you just connect them. That's it. You just connect them. Now I got the
That's
realtor
right.
selling the land. But if you focus on those income producing activities every single day, I don't care if
Wow.
you have 30 minutes a day, you do that consistently, it will compound on itself.
Wow.
6 days a week, 6 days a week. God commanded us to take one day off at least, you
That's
know.
right. You threw that word at least in there. But I like that. That's how I feel about it too. I'm like, God, you told us to take one day off a week. That's great. But I want to take more than that if it's okay.
Well, there's seasons of hustle, there's
Uh,
seasons of
yeah,
hustle. For a long
right.
time, I grinded and burnt the candle at both ends and, ignored that commandment of taking that one day off a,
Yeah,
a week and having the
yeah.
Sabbath. But, you gotta like you just gotta get it done. However,
Yeah.
like figure out how to
That's
do
right.
it.
That's right. That's right. Sometimes you just gotta put your head down and tell the missus, you're probably not going to see me. I'm going to be working on something that's going to bless us and our family for about the next 90 days, and then I'll tell you what, we'll celebrate when I've
Yeah.
accomplished some great things I've got planned here,
And don't
and
be
and
screwing
that's what I
around during
did
that
too.
90 days.
Right, exactly. And I learned some skill sets doing that. But even then, when it comes to real estate, like you were saying, I think I started studying in 2001, and my first deal was in 2005. That's like
Four
four.
years.
That's four. Is that 4 years?
There you go, right
I'm
there.
just
That's your
kidding, man.
college education.
Yeah, that's 4 years of not winning. Yeah, but
That's
I don't
that's
think it has to
lonely.
be that way. And I just in transparency, I didn't have a great coach. I didn't have anybody that had refined the process of deal acquisition down
That's why it took
to
you 4 years.
yeah, I'm reinventing the dang wheel over here, basically, and chasing shiny objects and running around all that. But now I'm as an older guy, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go buy the knowledge and just have somebody show me what to do, and then I'm just gonna do that over and over
Yeah,
until I figure out how to make it work right. And
yeah.
that's great advice, Brent. I appreciate you sharing everything you've shared, man.
No, my pleasure. It's a good time. I mean, I've had so many mentors along the way. I've quit so many times. I threw in the towel
Yeah.
so many times. This shiny object came by so many times.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes focus. Like we forget the power of the laser, or when we were burning the
Right.
ants when we were kids with a magnifying glass,
Right.
like a magnifying glass, like this thing you get out of a gumball machine. We used to be able to, I think you used to be able to get them out of gumball machines. And like you can create, like you can start forest fires with these things. Like that's how powerful the power of focus is. You can cut through steel, not with a magnifying glass,
Wow.
but a laser.
I was gonna go try it, Brent. You had me fired up there for a minute. I was like, I'm gonna go melt some steel.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's fun burning the ants though, and leaves and
yeah,
stuff.
that is so true. Yeah, to bring it into a focus and really, there's a bit of learning curve with everything, of course, but then there's a bit of, I think, personal development and growth that comes into the process as well. And learning to think like an entrepreneur and like a real estate investor, and how to see properties in a different way than you've seen them before, and how to talk about things in a new way sometimes. So some of these things I think take a little time too, but what's great about having a coach is really streamlines the process and kind of gets you from A to Z a little faster. And man, I sure do appreciate your heart. I sure do appreciate your coaching business and what you offer people, because it is a real legitimate thing. There's a lot of people out there that you might question that, but I don't question that with Brent Bowers and the Land Sharks. So I really appreciate you being here tonight, man. Thanks
Thank
for
you so
being
much.
here.
Appreciate you
And
having
I
me.
wish you the best of success in 2024. I'd love to have you back maybe once a quarter or something, if you don't mind. Just come back and tell us about how great the land business is, because I'm really, really wildly interested in learning more about it myself even.
Let's do it. Yeah, sounds great. I
Cool.
enjoy it. God bless.
Sounds
Have a good
good.
night.
Jerry, thanks. Brent, thanks. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you again later. Okay, bye
See ya.
bye, everybody.